Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Aaron and welcome back to another video. So yeah, hopefully this is a bit better than Tuesday's video. Again, I do apologise for a bit of the short commentary and the short video, but that was mainly sort of down to me being unwell. But hey, we've been able to hit our upload schedule, so that's the main thing. Sort of tweaked my setup a little bit. Hopefully this is a bit better and we'll see how we go. But funny enough, video that I want to bring you today is the fact that I actually like modern Call of Duty, which is typical because at the moment I'm unable to play it. I left my game doing an update for quite a while yesterday, and it's decided to verify the game files, and for some reason it's just taking so long, so I'm sort of getting the ump. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to wing this video. So yeah, and the gameplay you're watching isn't the most exciting, but I thought it was sort of relevant. It's just me going for the infestation camo. So yeah, I like modern Call of Duty. Might be because I don't get to play it as much as everyone else, and also the fact that I mainly only play zombies. So if it was in a whole, the campaign, the multiplayer, I might agree with a lot of other people here. But I like zombies. Zombies is what I do. So why do I like modern Call of Duty? For me, if we're going back to... So right, let's go back to Cold War. I thought Cold War was good. It was just not supported as much as it should have been. With Cold War, we were brought The Machine, which had a really good story leading up to it, and the hype for that map was incredible. I ended up thinking that was a really good map as well, and I just had a lot of fun doing it. The Easter egg, it was simple. And I'll be honest, I am finding that I do like the simple stuff. Probably because I haven't got time to just jump into the game and grind for ages just trying to get something done. But yeah, fun map, a lot of replayability, and that's ultimately the map that I was playing to get my Dark Matter camo, I believe it was. Next map, Firebase C. Bit controversial. Would still say I had fun playing that map. I've also done the Easter egg quite a few times. I did like the boss fight despite it being very easy. I thought it was pretty cool, something we really hadn't seen before. Introduced like the order rounds, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I know that a lot of people don't seem to like that, but I'll be honest, I thought some of the steps were a little bit quirky, but it was quite fun. I did enjoy doing it, and the fact that some people didn't really like the map, then fair enough. But I was one that did actually enjoy just jumping into a game and doing the Easter egg quickly, and the Wonder Weapon was pretty cool. Next map, Mauer de Toten. So Mauer de Toten, pretty much copied from the campaign, but again, I thought it was pretty cool. Definitely a lot more challenging. I think it was probably, excluding Outbreak, and I'm not really going to include Outbreak just because of, it's not really zombies, is it? We like to round-based zombies. They thought Outbreak was amazing. The story and the Easter egg that they implemented into it at the end was pretty cool, but it's not zombies, and you can see that with Vanguard because they thought to take Outbreak, put it into Vanguard, and it flopped. But yeah, Mauer de Toten was pretty cool. The setting for it. Wonder Weapon was also very creative. I did like the Easter egg quest as well. The step that I always found the hardest was just upgrading Klaus. Like, you get his little solar radar thing, you put it on the upgrade station, and I remember it was a bit difficult for me to defend that, but that's probably me just sort of being an idiot. But I remember the boss fight being hard. So again, another cool Wonder Weapon, which was sort of rumoured to make its return, but didn't end up happening. I think it was meant to be in place instead of the Ray Gun Mark II on Shattered Valve. So now that brings us on to Forsaken. Forsaken I thought was pretty cool. Okay, I would probably say it's up there for me in terms of replayability. So I know that everyone's not the same, but I thought it was fun. The Easter egg was very short. The Wonder Weapon was pretty cool. I did actually enjoy the setting, and I think overall Cold War was a really good game for me. I really did enjoy that. But then they had to tinker with it a little bit, and that brought us into Black Ops 6. So Black Ops 6, the hype for Terminus was really cool. When it first came out, I thought, you know what, this map's brilliant. I think one of the best maps they ever released. And I know that people do those ranking systems, and I was sort of going to look into one, but I'll be honest, I wasn't really going to do this video. So as I said, I'm just going to wing it. It wouldn't be S tier for me. I think it would be A tier. So hopefully you know what I'm talking about in regards to these rating systems. When they've got like S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and then like rubbish or whatever. But over time, I've actually downgraded it to A tier. Reason being, I like the setting, I like the enemies, I like the Easter egg, and it's all well and good. But you know what does sort of spoil it for me? That boat. The boat that has the Wonder Fizz machine. I feel like it was such stupid placing to put that there. I sort of understand why they did it, because they needed to make use of it, and it was a cool idea. But when you want perks, and you've gone down, and you just want to buy them quickly from the Wonder Machine, I don't want to have to go all the way to that boat, which is like in the middle of nowhere. And they thought they'd try and fix it with the Wonder Weapon. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. And spraying that Sentinel artifact icon. But no one knew about that. That was only discovered sort of later on. But then again, you still got to get there in the first place. So if there was a quicker way to get to the boat, maybe when I think about Terminus, that annoyed me. Apart from that, it was pretty cool. I did enjoy the map. Just jumping in front of Citadel Daymore, I forgot to talk about Liberty Falls. Liberty Falls, really good actually, and I give it a really good. Reason being is I remember at COD Next, it got completely dragged and people were saying this is boring. There's no atmosphere or anything along them lines to it. But if you look back at it now, I think it was pretty cool. It was definitely the camo map to do them on. The story of Liberty Falls was actually pretty cool as well. And I know it's sort of the main hub for the whole new story. But people were slating it when it sort of first came out and they said they had no sort of hype for it. But I think that is one of the most memorable maps that people think of. If I was to ask you, name me a Black Ops 6 map, I think Liberty Falls is probably one of the first ones that comes to your head. If so, the first one. And I remember it sort of sticking into people's heads, mainly because of Dennis. Citadel Daymore. So, what have I got to say about this map? It was meant to be very scary, and that was the whole sort of shock factor for it. Like, oh, you get in a new map, and it's going to be the scariest map we've ever done. I wouldn't say it was scary. I liked the wonder weapon. Well, wonder weapons with the swords. Boss fight was also pretty cool, but I'll be honest, it's pretty weak for me. I would say, I don't really know how I'd rate it, but it was on the weaker side for me. So I thought the Easter egg was too long for starters, and I feel like that's why a bunch of people found a glitch to sort of skip part of it. I think it was like missing the pages or something along them lines. I just thought it went on for too long, it just dragged. But the boss fight was pretty cool. But yeah, I think it was pretty cool for the story, and I liked some of the aspects of it, like the Raven and all that sort of thing. Setting was also pretty cool to a degree, but I can't say that I'm one that goes back and replays it. I don't know if anyone else is. And I personally feel that when people think back to Black Ops 6, that's when they start to put it down in their estimations. Oh, and I remember one step I hated that brooch step, getting the brooch. That just really annoyed me. I remember my first attempt trying to do that and it just wound me up. So I remember skipping. And I mean, this was sort of before guides. So I've done it once or twice since, but yeah, I've pretty much given up with it and couldn't really care for that map. So yeah, back to the Tomb. Okay, so Tomb isn't really a map that I've played too much of. I have had a few attempts, and as soon as I've done the Easter egg, I sort of gave up with it. It did introduce something cool like golden armor and the whole trial system, and I did like the fact that you could go to the Dark Ether. That was pretty cool as well. And the Sentinel artifact boss fight was something different, and I did enjoy the sort of setting, but I do understand why it does get dragged. I think it definitely comes at the weakest point. It was one of those things, it was a bit like Transit, and the reason why I mentioned Transit is that it sounded like a really good idea until it come to the execution, and I reckon they just didn't have time to sort of change it. They only gave you one staff, which was pretty cool. The upgrade process for it was really annoying, and I remember because once I moved back into my house, I remember my Call of Duty did an update and it disabled my crosshair, and I went to play the Tomb and I had no crosshair. So when I was trying to do the step to do the upgrade and shoot the like ice torches or something along them lines, it was impossible. Then I found out that was just a Call of Duty issue. But if you look at it in perspective, and it was just a filler map, which you could obviously tell because all the voice actors went on strike. It's no Nuketown Zombies. And the reason why I say Nuketown Zombies is that in the future, that looks to be what we're getting as of when I'm recording this. And that's going to be like the survival map. Now we are Shattered Vow. Shattered Vow was my favourite map in Black Ops 6. Enjoyed playing it. I felt like I could replay it over and over again, and I had a lot of fun. And I feel like the community did as well. The boss fight was amazing, and I even have one of those Codename Pizza posters of the boss fight. It was brilliant. Like, really enjoyed it. Easter egg wasn't too long, pretty good as well. It was definitely confusing at first when I first loaded it up, but I feel like it was a very easy map to learn. I know there wasn't anything too special with the Ray Gun Mark II, but in perspective, I think it was a very good map, especially when you've had something like the Tomb, and now you've gone to Shattered Vow, and you've got a T-Rex boss fight. That was pretty cool. And now we had the Reckoning. I was going to call it Janus Towers, but they decided to call it the Reckoning. They should have just called it Janus Towers. I don't think it really fit the theme that they was going for, but it just sort of made sense. And again, I enjoyed this map. Easter egg's not too bad at all. The fact that you got 2 boss fights was really cool as well. I feel like it's the first time they've ever done something like that. And obviously we don't know which one was canon. It was funny seeing Codename Pizza and Freckleston and Noah trying to get the last step of the head and putting it in the bucket. Very creative. And I just thought it was a very good map. I feel like lots of people sort of moaned about it, but it was definitely different. I really enjoyed it personally, and it's just been fun going back and trying to do the boss fights again. The Sam one definitely had some difficulty at first, and then you just use the Maelstrom. To be fair, both of them, you just use the Maelstrom at this point. And the Richtofen was definitely a challenging one, but I thought was very good. And then that set us up for Black Ops 7. So far in Black Ops 7, we've got Ashes of the Damned. And I think this might be one of the best zombies maps they've released. The boss fight was definitely over the top at first. And it did seem like it was a bit sort of gated in the sense of people that done the boss fight were like, I'm amazing, it doesn't need to be nerfed. And people that couldn't do it, myself included, just had the up with it. And I think that's partly because they drip feed content. I feel like the original would have been beatable if only you had Mule Kick and you could have had that extra plate all along. I do think it was difficult because of you don't have all the best abilities. It was nice that you carried them over from Black Ops 6, but I feel like it's much better now. And yeah, the fact that I don't have to spend, I think it was 4 days really. I had a whole week of work and I think it got to Thursday that I finally beat the boss fight on the original difficulty. So yeah, best map they have so far, very creative. Jump pads, very cool. Wonder Weapon, also really cool as well. And the hype for it going into it, brilliant. I'm actually a massive fan of Black Ops 7 when it works, because it does feel sometimes they just left it to float, essentially. And I say float because it still does work, but especially over the Christmas break, they sort of just left it there. Broken state. Some of the challenges are broken in it as well. I can't believe they sort of released the game like this, if I'm honest. But Ashes of the Damned, brilliant, man. And also we have Survival. Survival's pretty cool as well, which is sort of what I wanted to make this video about as well. But oh well. Last of all, Astra Malorum. Very sort of basic map. Theme is pretty cool. Story behind it's pretty cool as well. I am a fan. I haven't been able to play it as much as I would like to, in the sense of doing the Easter egg. Done the Easter egg, got that done. Happy days. Sort of got out of there to a degree. Started working on my camos. Boss fight was insane until you cheated it with the LGM. Really like the LGM, by the way. Whoever created that, brilliant. And I'm looking forward to giving it another go. Probably on directed mode this time round, just so I can get the title and that. Yeah, it's fun. I'm not really the biggest fan of the sort of content they've been putting out at the moment, like with Fallout and the Christmas event. That's why I sort of gave up a bit on it. But overall, thought it was a pretty cool map. And I think Black Ops 7 at the moment is doing really well, as in initiative. It could be a lot better. It's definitely not Black Ops 2 2.0, but in terms of zombies, I think I like where it's going. Now I guess it's what's next. The funny thing about this is I've just noticed the date, and as of recording this is the day before 115 Day, where I expect them to release the next map, which is going to be the Nuketown remake that I touched on. And I think they're going to bring the whole Mars area back, so that will be cool. I really like what they did with that on Astra Malorum. The fact that they did that buffed it in my books, because the whole thing about being on Mars and the whole civilization out there, I thought was awesome. So yeah, I guess I'll have to do a part 2 of this video at some point. Hopefully they announce Nuketown. Hopefully it looks cool. Hopefully we get some sort of trailer on it, and I'll definitely be bringing more gameplay when it comes. But yeah, hopefully you guys all enjoyed the video. I'm really sorry this was a bit of a last minute thing. I wanted to get on here and play some COD, but unfortunately it wasn't going to be that way. So yeah, thank you for sticking with me. Hopefully to see you soon. Hopefully this turned out alright, and take care all.